Alright, welcome everybody to a new age of my gaming on YouTube. So, if you don't know me, I go by Bujin around here, like the Yu-Gi-Oh archetype, and I am unsure whether this will be on a new channel or uploaded on my old gaming channel that I used to run back in the day, but I recently got a new computer, and with that I was able to get a hold of the means to continue recording. I used to stream Wizard 101 back in the day, and I used to do whatever games I could run on my laptop, really. But this is a full-blown desktop PC, and with that I'm going to start just doing unedited gaming recordings on the channel. I'm pretty excited to do this because I've always enjoyed doing it as kind of like a hobby. Talking over my gameplay and stuff, and kind of recording the cool moments and the failures. But I hope you all enjoy. So, if you're unfamiliar with this game, Schedule 1, it was kind of a juggernaut of the whole Lethal Company era of games where you'd have a game of the week made by an indie developer. And it's kind of like an indie renaissance is what it feels like we're in currently. A lot of the AAA games have failed recently, or just been kind of whack in regards to features, story, that kind of stuff. The new Borderlands, I heard 3 was kind of poorly received when it dropped, and then the DLC saved it, and from what I've heard, 4 has a lot of performance issues. So I've been sticking to indie games a lot of base building and stuff, and Schedule 1 kind of fits into that niche. So without further ado, we're going to start up. We're gonna overwrite. We are going to name this YouTube Empire. And we are gonna go ahead and skip the prologue. It is a tutorial showing you how to play the game. It also gives you a basic tutorial, and you are able to pick up pretty easily if you're lost. A lot of people already know this game, but I'm not gonna assume that. So you're a small-time drug dealer from the south, in a fresh town with no cash, no product, and no contacts. You only know one way to make money. It's time to get to work. We're going to sell the funny drugs. And I am probably going to have to age restrict all of these videos because it all revolves around we have shrooms now, so it's weed, shrooms, meth, and cocaina. But I figure I am going to go ahead and do maybe about an hour per recording, give or take, depending on how the days go and such. I've played quite a bit of this game among various friend groups, so I have experience, and I know quite a few decent mixes and how to get going early. Go ahead and make myself. Spiky's fine. My hair's pretty dark brown. Be smug with some stubble. Super white eyeballs, big old pupils, and we're gonna be kind of a laid back guy. We're gonna squint. Make him a little bigger, a little thicker. Take him up a little bit, and then we're gonna be evil. So we're confident. And then maybe like some white cargo pants, some black shoes, and that's looking good. I look like somebody that would definitely be selling weed on the street. So we start off, it's telling us, welcome to Highland Point, open your phone, press tab, read your messages. Heard you're in some trouble, best not to talk over your mobile phone. Go find a payphone. So, if you have not played the game before, you would not have done the tutorial. So the tutorial is your uncle, Nelson, is showing you how to grow and sell weed. So you would grow and sell the marijuana plant, and boom bang. So something known by people who have played the game before, and I'm not going to spoil anything explicitly, is we're going to go ahead and leave the RV with everything we can carry. And there is a reason for that. But we are going to go ahead and snip up these weed plants. So with our current little setup, we're in the RV. The RV doesn't have a whole lot of space, but it has packaging station, the pot, the whole 9 yards. I hear a car out there. And I tried to tweak the audio stuff. It would not recognize my actual standing microphone, so I'm going to need to probably do some troubleshooting on that and maybe update some drivers. So this is my headphone mic. It doesn't sound quite as nice, so maybe expect better quality in the future. But yeah, we're only at about 5 minutes, so we can veg out and play 2 or 3 days worth. So you can go ahead and put this on in the background. Despite not having a Redbubble, check out my Redbubble, buy my shirts. Okay, so we look exactly like somebody who would be selling weed in a small town like this. And I say small town, but if you look at the map, it is absolutely ginormous. Move out of the way, GTA 6. So there's kind of a way to organize my inventory. I'm going to go ahead. We're growing what we have now so we can package 10, which is how many baggies we have. I just tried to put it directly in the baggie. So in this game, you are in charge of a lot of your own kind of thing. So packaging is done manually until you're able to hire help to do it. Or you can get a better packaging station, which I tend to do fairly early on, because this minigame is by far the most tedious, especially with the amount of product you're expected to sell early. But there are tips and tricks that we can do that will just help us out a little bit. So we'll take this with us, and then we are going to have to give up one of our slots. And we're going to have to do that. We're not bringing the trash can with us, but we're bringing everything else. So these are plastic pots. There's nothing special about them. If I had to pick anything that was going to be discarded, I generally choose the rack. It's fairly cheap, but we are going to take these LED grow lights and these suspension racks with us because that's going to let us skip the early game production issues. So this is our RV, this is our land, and we are going to go talk to Uncle Nelson at a payphone. So we're going to head into town. So the day operates off of the 7 a.m. to the 4 a.m. time frame, and it will pause at 4 a.m. You can still move around and do things. Plants will not grow and employees will not act. And there's a lot of garbage everywhere, and that's going to be important for us. But here's a payphone. God dang, good to hear your voice, buddy. Looks like our luck finally ran out. The feds have got me locked up while I wait for a trial. Glad to hear you managed to slip out, though. Back before I moved to Serena Flats, I used to live out there in Highland Point. Not the nicest town around, but plenty of opportunity for someone in your line of work. If memory serves, I've got some cash stashed out there. It ain't much, but it'll be enough to get you back on your feet. You can find it stashed near the town hall fountain, in the canal, and behind the supermarket. Go grab it, head back to the RV, and we'll go from there. So, we have $0 on both cash and card. There is a difference. And when we go down here to grab this money, you may notice restricted area. Workers to contact Jen for access. So we can wait until way later in the game to gain access to the sewers. And there are a few reasons that you want to be able to get into the sewers. There is a lot of money to be made in the sewers early, and I don't know how early in the game we are going to be able to get into it. So what you saw me do just there, I wasn't creeping on her, I promise. I'll do that later in the series. But that is the pickpocket mechanic, and once characters have a few days to get their belongings together, they might have money in their pocket. And money and items will appear in their pocket, and the police can have guns and magazines, which are the early way to get M1911s. So you'll see all these people around. When you talk to them, though, you get the option, can I interest you in a free sample? And outside of this little area near the motel, we are going to be unable to sell to anybody because we don't have enough influence for them to take us seriously. But for now, let's head back to our cozy little RV. Uh, Morning, officers. They're escorting that nice woman to what I can only presume is okay. So, unfortunately, that was the RV, and we are going to have a little visitor. And so this is where we kind of make our first enemies. So yeah, for the longest time, this meant nothing, but I'll explain a little bit more once we get closer to it. So welcome to Highland Point. This is our territory. Don't interfere. And it's signed with a B. So the update before the current one, the current update is Shrooms. The update beforehand was the Mafia, the Benzies. And so the Benzies are now in Highland Point, so you'll find groups of thugs and their dealers, and you are able to get through a little storyline with them, and there's a big payoff at the end, although I haven't made it that far even in my single player. So, payphone's right here. Well, shoot, that's not ideal. There's a powerful cartel in town, the Benzies family. I figured they'd eventually be a problem, but didn't think they'd find you this quickly. Looks like you're going to need somewhere low-key to stay for a while. Head over to the motel and ask about getting a room. After that, you'll be needing some new equipment. There's a hardware store just northeast of the motel. Grab a grow tent, soil, and watering can. Alright, so first off, we're going to try to get our first customer. So, can I interest you? Ooh! Hello, officers. Shh. Talk. Oh, I'm not doing anything. Now that they're out of eyesight, would you like to purchase weed? And by purchase, I mean just hit this crap. So the police, obviously, do not like seeing me. Oh. I'd like to rent a room. $75 for the week. So, they say $75 for the week, but it is actually just $75, period. So this is our first little room. And we are going to have to kind of set up in here. And there is a couple things that we want to do. The first of which, the television can be used for a few things, but mostly it's just to tell the time. And we'll get a TV once we're in a real house, but we're in a motel room. And so, would you like to buy something? I'll give you this. Oh. Sorry, I'd like to sell something. So the TV can go for $75 to $300. He can do 170. I'll go up to 200. Alright, so I'll take the 170 because I don't want to piss him off. So that's an extra 170 cash early in the game. Sometimes you can tweak them up a little bit to what you want. And that trash can is kind of in the way early, but we can work around it. Grab our pots off the shelf. It starts us with a shelf. We're going to want to go ahead and grab one more like large storage rack. And we can move that behind the door to give us a little more room. Throw the LEDs down. And so this might be the enough to put one small storage rack. But I can put a large one and a small one if I move it there, and then that's fine. So to free up the inventory room, the motel is kind of our safe place, so it's getting on in the day. We can try something if we want to. It's risky, and we can always log out and log back in quickly. If we fail, I am going to operate off of the system of I'm not going to save scum everything, but like I'm not going to do it for ideal outcomes and just do stupid crimes, but I don't mind save scumming if it would result in a pretty major setback. I also keep forgetting where I am and where I'm going, but we are going to go try to find a gentleman. It is the first day, and I don't know if he's going to be at his house. But this is the easiest way to get our way into the sewer. It is pretty difficult, and I am not good at pickpocketing, so if it is possible, I'm going to give it a shot, and if I fail, we'll limit ourselves to maybe 3 times. Please don't be a police checkpoint. Alright, so we're free to come down here. This is the docks region. I believe this is the 4th area we go to? Yeah. So it goes Northtown, Westville, Downtown, Docks, Suburbia, Uptown. And there is Mafia influence in the last 4 regions, and we need to lower it in the area beforehand in order to gain access to the customers in those regions. So this is where He's not home. So I think maybe... Get in the water. We're certainly not going to go to the hardware store tonight because it's already dark out. And it is going to get a bit dicey the later in the day it gets. So he's not home. I swear Jesse was just on the other side of... Oh, it was... Okay, it was Elizabeth. And we do have a flashlight. It helps on the overworld. It doesn't really help once we're in the sewer, but the sewer is kind of where we want to go. Do you want to buy something? I'll just unload like one. Whoa. I did not know that that could happen. That has never happened before. So I sold to Jesse before I went through the Uncle Nelson quest line, and I guess that's so that we don't feel required to follow the quest line. So we got Albert Hoover's phone number, and he is good for weed seeds. So we can grow 4 different strains, and then you can mix with I think like up to 9 plus. I think you can keep going, but it's diminishing returns. And it is 8:26 at 9, so it should pop up police curfew starting soon. This is going to get dicier the longer it goes. Our RV's still on fire, which is crazy. We are waiting for a fine mohawked gentleman named Genghis Barn that we're going to attempt to lift the sewer key off of. He lives right here in the shipping container, which is lavish and luxurious, but in the meantime, I guess we can clean up this junk a little bit. So, cash is quite important, obviously. Money makes the world go round. Is that Genghis? No, but you are a mohawked fella. That's Mac. Do you have anything? He has nothing. So I'm assuming Genghis is also going to have nothing then. So we've spent quite a bit of time here, and it's going to be very anticlimactic if I find him and the key's not there. But first thing in the morning, before I go to the hardware store, I'm going to run straight down here to the docks and see if I can get my hands on the sewer key from him. That is not Genghis. And additionally, I can get a weapon pretty early on if I go to a specific place, because I believe there is a weapon that spawns very early on. That's not a cop car, thankfully. So, currently, the police curfew is in effect until 5 a.m. So if we are caught, the police will attempt to arrest us. If they manage to cuff me, I will be unable to... I believe they take some of my money and any contraband. So they will take the 8 OG Kush. That's not a cop car either, good. So I was really hoping that Genghis was going to come home and that he would have some stuff on him. We can get something to collect trash a little easier. I forgot to explain the cash for trash. Glass bottles and bongs are $3, plastic bottles and metal cans are $2, and any others, so cigarette butts and marijuana leaves and other general accoutrement are $1. So this is so unfortunate because I could have been hustling and trying to make some new customers. So just in the general vicinity, we already have 4 people that are prospective customers. But I've put this much time into it, so I don't know where Genghis is. Okay, they live in the rich neighborhood, so we're not going to look at them for now. We want the kind of trashy folk. But generally, you would have to get fairly far into the game to get to the point where you would get the information that this NPC can have the sewer key. And I believe that multiple NPCs can have the sewer key. But it seems as though for now it wasn't meant to be. So I need to be careful because there are always 2 cops stationed right out in front of our motel. There will always be 2 of them every night. they catch you fairly quickly. So even running across here, you could see their flashlights over there briefly. Um, in our little motel cul-de-sac back here, in our little safe haven, as long as we don't do anything stupid and attract attention to ourselves, we're allowed to be outside in this little area. You can see the cops over there. So, in here, we don't really have a whole lot of anything going on. We can save our game and go ahead and just go to bed. So that'll be the first day. We leveled up a tiny bit, not enough to actually get to Street Rat 2. But first thing in the morning, every NPC generally starts out either at like a predetermined location or at their house. And we're hoping that Genghis Barn is at the house. So I'm thinking he has a knife, I believe, and so we would want a weapon if we're going to fail this little pickpocket if he has the key. It might take a couple days for him to get the key. But the shipping container down here is kind of what I'm interested in, because we can make a large spike of money. Come on. Oh, my buddy! I'm just gonna crawl behind you. He doesn't have it, but I will take your cash. I don't need anything else off of him. So, unfortunately, he did not have it. He had a banana and a can of Coke. I don't want to risk him getting angry at me. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and not worry about that for now. But we want to get into that sewer. There are a couple places that the key can spawn as well. We read an entire little guide thing. That is just a pipe. That is charming. So back here was one of the spawn locations of this key. And I'm not thinking it's going to be here. That's a cigarette. That's a syringe. So, yeah, oh joyous day, we're finding syringes and all sort of uncouth items. But we are not finding what we are looking for, which is the sewer key. So every day we will go and we will check Genghis Barn until it suddenly pops into his inventory. So we will ignore everything else for now and instead just go ahead and try to... There's a lot of trash around, so I do want to go hit the hardware store for what we need. So, we have two types of currency in the game. And I have a very odd way of playing this. So, we can visit an ATM and deposit cash. We have a weekly deposit limit. So we can only put $10,000 in, which sounds like, holy crap, you're a millionaire. So we'll put 300 in and keep the other as cash. And then back behind the hardware store is important. So here is Albert Hoover's stash. So we'll put 250 in there. And so if we go message Albert Hoover, I'd like to order a dead drop. And we can go ahead and order... We'll get 9. We'll get 8. We'll get 8. Because we have 2 pots, so we'll do it in groups of 2. So in 4 hours, that'll be ready. Boom. I paid it off. We don't owe him anything, so he won't pester us and threaten us. I don't actually know if he threatens it. I don't leave long-standing debt with people. But with the 300 on our card, we can buy some things. So, this fella is Dan. Hello there, what can I do for you? I'd like to purchase something. So, I'm going to go ahead and grab quite a bit of soil. We're going to grab 8 soil since we have 8 seeds. And I'm Dan, I run this here hardware store. What line of work are you in? I'm going to be honest, I'm a drug dealer. Haha, good one partner. Tell you what, take some speed grow on the house. Them marijuana plants will love it. So speed grow, as cool as it sounds, instantly grows the plant but reduces quality. Until we can get drying racks, that doesn't matter to us, because lower quality means people are going to be unhappy with us. So since we brought the stuff out of the RV early, we are not going to need the grow tent. The grow tent is generally what you need to do, but they only give you 8 of the plant as opposed to the 12 you get from the plastic pot. We are going to go ahead and want to get maybe 40 baggies. And We want to get a large storage rack, and we'll get a small storage rack. So that's 130. We're also going to go ahead and get 2 trash bags. So we can't fit that for now. We're also going to get a trash grabber soon. So that used up most of our stuff. But we just want to make sure that once we lock ourselves in this room after we get the dead drop, that we don't need to leave again for a little while, because we want these plants to grow so we have plenty of stuff to sell. We already have a decent bit to sell, and we have some stuff to bag as well. So once we get some more plant, I'm going to call it plant. Once we have a little bit more plant, we will be good to go. So large storage rack. I can grab one more small one to put in there, and I was playing with the idea, but we rip the top off, we dump the soil in. We are going to spend a decent bit of time doing plant, and that is going to be A-okay in my book, because this is a very lucrative thing if you know how to mix. And I know a few simple mixes, like 2-ingredient stuff, that we can do that'll turn a pretty profit, and it won't take very long. What do you got? $1 is not worth fighting somebody over. I was really hoping that we were going to get the sewer key today, and we could immediately just go in there and start making big money early in the game. And you have the opportunity to make a decent amount of money every couple days once we can get into the sewer, which is why we're going to keep on trying. So I will grab one more small storage rack, and that leaves us $60 to get a trash grabber and 2 trash bags. Trash grabber is going to be pretty much a mainstay early game, and that is because any glass bottles or aluminum cans that we pick up get added into it as a percentage, so of how full you can get it. And once we fill it up, we can dump it in a trash for cash machine, which is located near pretty much every house in the game in a place where you can get to it. You're almost ready to go. You're missing 1 key ingredient. No, I'm not, because I already sent a dead drop. So now we're just waiting another 25 minutes. It'll be ready in a moment. We'll dump all the stuff that we just collected in there, hit the button, and with the trash grabber, we can now get about 20 bucks while we're just waiting around doing nothing. So this is the weapon I mentioned earlier. This is the baseball bat. It isn't phenomenal, but it is a way to defend yourself early, and that is important. So 4 of my inventory slots are filled up with tools and stuff. So taco ticklers, exterior wall. Getting to know the map is the most important thing that you can do early game. And I spent a really long time just not knowing where to go. So we're going to go ahead and sow this seed. And then we're going to be able to wait around while it grows. And so every location in the game has somewhere that you can fill up your watering can. But once you get employees, you don't really need to carry any of these botany things. So the clippers and the watering can are unnecessary. Alright, so I already got the trimmers. I can go grab the baggies just out of the out of this thing, so I can probably swap them if I can make room. I'll put those there. That's kind of my stuff. So boom, buy 10, put the packaging station in the motel room. So now bag the contents. So this is just an easy way to collect a ton of trash. You don't technically need a trash can, and I generally will not use a trash can. I usually pick it up and just trash it. You need it for a cleaner later, which we are going to need once we get to like the bungalow, but that's way down the road. And so I don't know why I got 2 of it, and they're $1 a piece, so I'm just gonna throw it in the trash and pollute the ocean. But I could actually fit another large rack there, which I wouldn't hate, but for now we'll keep it there. So currently we are just waiting, and I hate to package it so that there will be 6 left, but I do want like a decent bit. So while I'm waiting, we can go here. So a lot of people make the mistake of going into the thing and just listing it for sale, but we have an asking price of 38. I'm going to go ahead and bump this up to 43, which is $5 above, It's not addictive, it calms you down, and we're just going to go ahead and wait for a text. So some people will catch wind that we're selling this stuff through word of mouth. And so Kathy Henderson immediately wants 3 OG. You can answer the text. You can either accept the deal right away, counteroffer it, which maybe you bump this up to 150. So yeah, we get an extra $5. I'm not always going to do that, but we're going to schedule it for late night. And the reason we want to do it for the late night is because you get a curfew bonus. If it is past the point where the cops would arrest you, you get extra money, and I like to call it hazard pay. So we can get just a little extra. And the more money, it's a percentage, I believe. So it's the more money that you would make on the deal. So let's say we're selling 3. It would be 3 times as much of a curfew bonus as it would be if we were just selling the 1. So boom, we have extra. This stuff is growing. I like to just keep it topped off. I don't think it's necessary, but it makes me feel good. I'm a little meticulous. So we're not really doing a whole lot. We're waiting for the... what do you call it? We're waiting for the plants to be done. And not a whole lot else. But there is one other thing that we can do that I'm going to go ahead and get done after I get a little bit extra cash. So if we open up our map, we have a few customers from the get-go. Maybe people that Uncle Nelson knew beforehand. But we can see that there are certain people moving around the map. This is a police checkpoint. We don't want to mess with this. But Geraldine right here, that's Randy. I don't even know where Geraldine went. Oh, he's chilling in the homeless camp. Alright, so cops might be able to see me. I can crouch, talk to you. Would you like a free sample? They almost caught me. I don't know how they saw from all the way up there. Alright, so Geraldine, he has very extremely low standards and a decently high budget. Meaning, they have a really good chance that he'll like it. And so, Geraldine is a junkie, and he will buy a lot of your product. So you want to make sure that you get him early. So the good news is that it's not yet the curfew. And we can just kind of move around willy-nilly and try to grab the various things. Is this Ludwig or is this Peter? Peter's hanging out at Sauerkraut Supreme Pizza. Can I interest you in a free sample, my friend? 87% chance of success. So, everybody in the first area kind of has absolutely terrible... twofer. See, Mick Lubbin's a cheapskate. I might be able to get you up to 90. Yep. So, they're only supposed to be worth 43 apiece, so 90 is still technically above, but I weaseled Kathy into 3 for 50 a pop. So that's where I want to keep it, is like 50 apiece. So, the other guy that I could have gotten Ludwig over there. I should have checked. But he stays in Sauerkraut Supreme Pizza. I think he works there. He might live there. Make a bet out of the dough. But... are you a cop? Oh, no, you're Dan. You going to get pizza? That was really uncomfortable. Hi, Ludwig. Would you like one of these? So Ludwig is another total cheapskate. Alright, cool. So we can get Miss Ming. I'm glad I checked. Miss Ming is another customer. She's not a cheapskate, but she tries to order small quantities. So we'll give it a shot. Cool. So, next one is Beth. We need to... Don't we need to get referred to Beth through other... Oh, no, I guess not. I thought you had to be friends with Beth's friends to get that, unless they changed it. So Beth doesn't really like that, so we're going to kill her with a bat when she's least expecting it. But Peggy Myers is over here, and there shouldn't be any cops So Miss Ming just tried our stuff and is already immediately completely on board. Thought that was a cop car and I was about to have to book it. Do you like my stuff? Dude. Oh, no! I didn't think she was gonna call the cops out. We were playing. We were roughhousing. Does she hate me now? She probably doesn't love me. Okay, so. Miss Ming, 2 for 100, that's fine. So, when you put things as late night, the best part about it is that there is, like, zero stress involved in doing things in a timely manner. So part of it is, like, balancing the time of your day and trying to get it to where you have enough time for all your deals and stuff. That's if you're doing deals throughout the day, which is what I used to do all the time when I would play this game. Boom bang. Jesse wants 6, or 4. So 4 for 185. It's not quite 50 per, but the quantity that she's buying is just absolutely phenomenal. I hear footsteps outside, and that freaks me out a little bit. But, we're fine. We're okay. And let me just check my recording time. I believe I can set in OBS. I just downloaded it on this computer. I believe I can set it on OBS to have a timer on screen. So we're about 36 in, so we'll do another day or two. And feel out kind of how we're vibing. So I do have enough bags. I hate having like 2 bags on a rack, and you're gonna see me waste a decent bit. And that's just because once I get a little later and I have so much product that I'm having shelves dedicated to storing it, that I will do it 20 stacks at a time, but I hate doing things like in uneven numbers. And so I'm going to have a shelf in here that's dedicated to my plant, but that is going to be because I want to do it in sets of 20 because it's nice and clean. And we're going to be swapping around our stuff a lot as we unlock more materials and different drugs that we can sell. Because this is cheapity cheapskate stuff, really. We're doing small time dealings. So we'll go ahead and dump this soil full. Alright. Grabbing the trash grabber. We need to go ahead and water. I don't know if... So, the issue with watering that I don't know, and I assume somebody does, is when a plant is in the pot without water present, there is a chance that you'll get less of a plant from it when you harvest it. So, like, you'll get maybe 8 from a plant if it's not tended to properly. The actual specifics of it, though, I'm not sure. So... we don't have anything at the barbershop. Barbershop means that I have to kill 2 cops. But doing the deals normally, you get decent money and you'll get a satisfaction rating. So since it was good quality and we gave her what she wanted, that is a satisfaction 100%. And that's going to boost her opinion of me. So Mick the fella, paying 90. He's only paying 45 a piece for my stuff. That's the friends and family discount. So there's one at the skate park and then one over at the construction zone. Jessie's fiending, so we're gonna give her that and leave her be. So we have 698 bucks, which seems pretty good, but we save often, just in case we run into a scrape with the cops. This is not like a hardcore run or anything. This is a casual, put the video on in the background and chill type thing. Oh, I know where this is. Okay, it's up here. I thought it was the construction site down the way, and I was shocked that it was sending us that far. But as soon as we finish this, no more deals for the night. There are certain NPCs that will order things at like 2 a.m., but we don't have any of them yet. You'll see a guy running around with a pot on his head. That's one of them. But we have no reason to risk ourselves being out here where the cops can get us, so we're just going to go ahead and fall asleep. So, boom. Time will pass. We get quite a bit of XP. That's enough for, I believe, 3 level ups. So Street Rat 2. Street Rat 3. So PGR Speed Grow and Jars were unlocked. And then Street Rat 4. So Fertilizer, Long Life Soil, which is a big thing. LED Grow Light, Moisture Preserving Pot, Plastic Pot, 2 more. I don't think they're anything that I need right this second. But I timed it perfectly so that I can harvest as soon as I wake up and get some more plants in the ground. I'm not going to bag this up yet because I don't believe I need it just yet. But today is going to be all about trying to get those people that I missed before. So this will be our little plant shelf. So we just saved, we're fine. And we're going to talk about funny plant on the phone. You finished a few deals and made some decent cash, but if you're looking to make real money, you'll need to expand your operations, more product and more customers. The best way to gain new customers is to give a free sample of a friend to a friend of an existing customer. View all potential customers on your map, grab some weed and give them a free sample. With a bit of luck, they'll agree to become a customer. To keep up with more customers, you'll need more product. The motel room isn't going to cut it for much longer. There's a cheap room for sale above the Chinese restaurant just north of your motel room. Save 800 bucks, go about buying the room. So 800 cash, and we are able to buy the room above the Fat Dragon. So we can open the map. We're going to go try to catch Beth. Here she is right here on the street. So yeah, it'll show the approximate area. These cops aren't able to see behind them, so we're going to try again. Is that a cop car? I'm not doing anything. You need to get out of here. Alright, so we got Beth. So we're going to head down to the docks and do our daily little try for the sewer key. I'm wondering if we need to get to the warehouse before we're able to get the sewer key, but I'm not sure if that's a thing. Or if it could be on another NPC could have it, in which case they might be looking to set up a police barricade here. Is that going to disappear? I can't do crime with... Ah, he's here too. Can I kind of sneak? Do you have it? Oh. Alright, so we have enough for the new room. I think that's probably just good. I don't know what that cop car is doing. So, I am wondering. I'm wondering if another NPC has the sewer key. So I'm going to do a really inconspicuous talk out loud to my phone Google search. How early can you get the sewer key in Schedule 1? Initial progression. The key can be found randomly at 50 locations, including downtown and graveyard, especially at night. Pickpocketing or looting NPC. So... let's do a little bit of research together. Hint from an NPC. Ah! The area, spawn location, and person carrying the key changes per save file. So, we can find it just laying on the ground. But that is going to be... interesting. That's going to be... I believe there were like a couple... Is it completely random? Which NPCs can have the sewer key, Schedule 1? Jen Hurd. Crackheads, random NPC. One of 7 potential crackheads in Highland Point will have it. Oscar will give a hint about each one. So I could go to the graveyard. And see, we're really just waiting for... Oh. 3 for 160, that's quite nice. So, I will carry a few bags of my stuff around. I'm not gonna grow anymore because I have 27 to sell right now, and then we can buy the room like late tonight. Okay, Peggy Myers was the other one that did not like my stuff yesterday, but that does not necessarily mean that she's not going to like my stuff today. And it says that she should be like... Doesn't she work in the chop shop or whatever? 5 for 260, Peter. I'm not saying your last name. Peggy Myers. 63% is not confident. But it's good anyways. So that is everybody that I can currently get as a customer. So that's good. So there is a location that I think I might be able to go to. There is a graveyard over here that I think we can check. I don't know all of the spawn locations for this key, so I really have no idea which one it's going to be, but generally it says that it's going to be like around the Northtown area from what I've seen across 3 files that I've asked the questions. I don't think it would be like close to the RV. There is a lawn gnome out here. I don't think it does anything. But that is what we're working towards at the very end of the game. That is the Benzies Mafia Manor. And that is kinda... It's kind of a big goal at the end of the game. So, my big concern with trying to find the key just out randomly is that it hasn't spawned yet, which is like kind of what I worry about with this. So, unless we just randomly find it in this little preliminary sweep that I'm doing, I'm not thinking we're going to be able to find it. And so if it's not just like randomly laying around over here, we'll check the graveyard. It said especially at night, but I'm wondering if that was just the AI co-pilot thing. Does somebody work here? No, you're a dealer. I think you're a dealer. I haven't been like crazy far in the game. Alright, so it did say the graveyard. So I am not seeing it in the graveyard. And if I see... You can definitely buy 2 for like 80. Cool. That's actually cheaper than what he wanted, I think, but I managed to unload 2 instead of 1. Because early game, it's all about quantity, because your stuff sells for so little that you really don't care. So if I get searched by a cop, I'm absolutely screwed, so I'm steering clear of them. But it is not looking like I'm going to be able to find the key in this little preliminary sweep. So Genghis does not have the key. So where are other crackheads that I can think of? You're not a crackhead. The crackheads are pretty quickly visible just from like looking at them. I know 1 or 2 of them live in the homeless camp, and 1 or 2 of them lives in the Stash and Dash. But I don't think they'd be out right now, so Ludwig is such a cheapskate, bro. 2 for 90. 2 for 90. Like, I'm fine with cutting my fellas a deal if they're willing to work with me and actually buy... Like, Chloe Bowers, once we get them absolutely hooked on our stuff, we can ask exorbitant prices, but... Alright. Well, Chloe can go kick rocks and die, and... it's not gonna hurt us any. I was hoping that we'd just find the key on the ground, because I looked for, I want to say like an hour on my multiplayer save file I play with a few friends, and it was just not happening. So I was really hoping I'd find it, but I might need to go crackhead hunting, because that seems to be the easiest way. So Jesse didn't have it. Jesse has nothing. So Jesse didn't have it. Genghis Barn didn't have it. There's Cranky Frank and Greg Figgle, which I believe live in, like, kind of the same area? So, one of them would be Stash and Dash. I don't know if the shirtless guy with the green hat, I don't know if it's Randy Caulfield. I think it's Jerry Montero. I don't know if he counts as a crackhead. That's the trash can I hit Peggy with. I completely forgot about that. Stash and Dash. I'm just going to start knocking on doors. Okay. This is a property we can get, but that's 5,000 and it has to be made on the card. So I'm thinking Peter is too well dressed to be anything. Kathy wants 3, that's why she's the GOAT. She's a pretty decent NPC early on. I've had a few times where Kathy wants to buy like 1, but you can usually talk her into doing it. Alright. Miss Ming, I'd like to buy the room. So, now that I have the room, I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. We're not quite ready to use it yet. We can move everything over tonight. But it is a nice little room. It is a nice little spot where we can upsize. It does have a trash can. I don't need a trash can. There's a trash for cash machine right outside. This is an ideal area. I can get 6 shroom beds in here once I get that going, but we need to get into the sewer to really get our feet wet doing stuff with that. So we have a multitude of things that we could do. One of the homeless guys lives right there, like not homeless, but the crackheads, which isn't much better calling them that. There's also a homeless camp on the other side of the motel here, and the people in there could have it, but there's usually cops lingering around. There's also a sewer entrance right there. I believe I did the math, and I went through all of the... Would you have it? Okay, I need you to stand up. Are you gonna... Can you... He doesn't have it. I could have taken the weed back from him before he smoked it, but I don't know if that would have been... That probably would have been a point of contention for him. I don't think anybody else is around at this time of night. Because somebody lives in the tent, I think. I think it's Jerry Montero. So Jerry Montero might count as a crackhead, I'm not sure. But I was kind of looking around. But if you go at the... Oh, it's him. Hi. Are you a crackhead? You have it. Oh. I need you to go down, and I'm really sorry that this is happening, but I've been looking for that, and... Do I even have him yet? No, he's Westville. Alright, there were no witnesses, so that was not a problem. You are so cheap! I don't even care if I miss this. You're doing 3 for 145. Okay, cool. So, any barbershop. Yes, one of them is next to barbershop. That is a problem. Beth is also a cheapskate. She goes to dealer immediately. You're gonna do 2 for 95, and if you say no, I don't care. Alright, cool. Beth's right there. So, oh, dang, Donna? 3 for 155. Alright, so we're making good money tonight. I understand how to pick items up, buddy. But, that's not why I'm here. Why I'm here is we are going to make our first little foray into the sewers. We are actually going to do it over here from a proper entrance. Boom, takes the key from you. So this is the worst part of the game. But it's extremely lucrative if you do what you're going to do and then get the hell out of here. So it is like pitch black in here. But if you're lucky, there are a few things of note that you can get in here. This is one of them. This is the shroom. You can find shrooms growing on walls and doors and all sorts of stuff. This is an exit out into the outside. That's one of the easier exits to find. You can also find ladders that go up onto the surface. But I get lost in here really easily, so there was a ladder right there. There's something in here that I don't want to find, and it's like a little freaky goblin thing, and I'm really easy to scare. But this is a crazy good way to make money early game, and me and my friends found this out pretty darn quickly. What is this? I actually haven't found this even in the other one. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I hate this. Okay, that's the roundabout. I'm not gonna get like crazy greedy in here. I'm gonna try to find my way out. Alright, Jesse Waters wants 4. Pop out there. This is risque because there could be cops around. But yeah, Jessie always wants a lot of weed, but she's not willing to pay much. But we managed to get 6 shrooms. So if you go into the product menu, our stuff is worth 43. A shroom is worth 65, and I can easily bump that up to 70. We're not quite ready to put it up for sale yet. We might be able to get a couple more tomorrow if we go in. But we're gonna kind of evade our way over past these cops down here by the motel. And we want to save. We want to secure these mushrooms and save our progress before we start dealing for the night. Because the NPCs aren't even ready to deal yet. Not for another 30 minutes. And we're going to go ahead and make this the final night of the episode. And we'll keep it a little short. And I'll record another episode or 2. There's going to be a couple games that I'm going to record episodes of. One of them being League of Legends. I want to just make it a variety channel until I fit into a niche and figure out what I want to do. But, yeah, for tonight, we just need to deal. So, the worst thing about dealing at the barbershop, when we get a barbershop deal, there are 2 cops right there that are going to make things difficult, and they're pointing their flashlights directly at the barbershop. And I've seen it before that people are able to sneak over there, but I'm never able to do it because I'm not very stealthy. So we might get into a confrontation here with the cops. So they can't see me yet, but if I try to go across the way here, they're going to get upset. Oh my gosh. So that's a fat little $260 deal right there, which is extremely nice. But we have a couple more deals to do. The instant I unlock a dealer, I try to offload all of the cheapskate customers that only offer like maybe 45 per OG, or they only want 1 or 2 total. I try to offload. Um, I might need to bag some stuff up. I don't even think I have enough. I definitely don't think I have enough. Which means a quick trip to Gas Mart is in order, and that's not very difficult to do. Once you know your way around the map, you're able to get around really easily. I'm just so happy that I got the sewer open. And I don't know if there's a way that you can really see too much better in there. Like, the flashlight is garbage in there. There's not, like, a torch or anything. So we're gonna get maybe 20 baggies. 19 more baggies. Because we are brokety broke as a joke. And we have $1,000 in cash, which is great, but that's not really helping us. But so that we're not wasting time tonight, we're not growing anything, first of all. So that puts us on 0 timer, because the game will stop at 4 a.m. It's only 2. And that will let us kind of do our thing and do it at our pace. So we do have 4 more plant there. We're going to go ahead and just move that over to the room until we have a full 20 stack. So every 5 rounds of plant that we grow will result in an extra 20 stack, because it's 4 additional per, because it's 12 and 12 is 24. I bag the 20, I put the 4 aside until it makes a full 20 stack. And that's kind of just how I operate. But yeah, I have the hiccups. There's a couple games that I've been wanting to play. One of them is League of Legends. They have a lot of different game modes and fun stuff. The new season's about to come out, so I figured now's as good a time as any to do videos on it. And I am a support player, but there's a lot of cool things that I can do in support. And there's a new support item. There's 2 new support items, to my knowledge. The Whispering Circlet, whatever it's called, and the Bandle Pipes. And I've been thinking probably going to do a Senna build with that. And if you're not interested in League, maybe check out the videos when it drops. So actually, technically speaking, I could just go get 10 more bags real quick. Should always save when I leave the room. Go grab another 10 bags. I'm going to bag up those shrooms and just see if I can peddle it to some of the druggies. Baggies. I would like 10 baggies. So you'll see a lot of the stuff in there was locked. We need to rank up before we are able to partake in that. And if the video is really dark and you can't see, that might panic some people that the deal's expiring soon, but that just means that it's 4 a.m. and the game has paused time. So we could try something really risky if we wanted to. And it is a good idea to try to kill the cops in front of the barbershop, because you can pickpocket a gun off of them, and that gets you... One, you have a gun for when the cartel stuff starts. It's good to have, and then you can keep all the extra magazines, but any additional guns that you get, you can just go ahead and drop. Alright, I apologize for the... Whoa, that was weird. I apologize for the very abrupt cut, but I heard a crashing noise downstairs, and my cat had ridden something onto the floor. It was a box, and so I had to go make sure I was not being robbed. But luckily I was not, and we can continue selling drugs from the comfort of my bedroom through a screen vicariously. So that's 6 bagged shrooms. So there are a few things that I can do there. One of which being just sell them directly. I can also list them for sale, which is not bad. So I hear a cop car. That's the equivalent of like Minecraft cave ambience to my understanding. It is not actually a cop car, even though the directional audio was like kind of trailing along. So I believe this is Sam Thompson. You sort of learn each NPC's name, their schedule, how much they're willing to pay through dealing with them. The first 3 regions, I have a pretty good understanding of the likes, and you are super high still. What? How are you already high? That was crazy. But I do have to say, it's so nice being able to just play a game without worrying about lag and like quality and stuff. Getting a PC. It's got a 3050 as the graphics card, 1 TB of storage. I think it's 16 GB RAM, and yeah, it's really nice. It's the Omen 16L, I believe. And so I don't know about streaming or anything yet, and I think I would consider it, but so like would Ludwig want to buy if I'm over here and Sauerkraut Supreme Pizza's just open. Oh, I guess he went home. I'm wondering if I could like peddle my wares to somebody, just testingly. Like Jesse Waters. Jesse doesn't need very long. Okay, so like the other thing is here is a way down. I really don't like it in here. I was gonna like say as a joke, like Donna just scared the crap out of me. Okay. I was gonna say like as a joke, as a little treat, I've earned. Is this Peter's? No, that's Jesse's. Would you like to buy? So 65 bucks, just like that, and I didn't even need to grow it. They're just growing down there. So every 2 to 3 days, against my better judgment, since I hate doing it, we can do a sewer run, and we can grab shrooms and stuff. There is a room in there that is how I'm going to make a lot of money really early on in the game. $7 on the card is crazy. I'm sure a lot of us can. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that. But yeah, there is a little office down there, and we are able to get into it, and it has quite nice things inside of it. But that is just so good for what we're doing. So for now, I'm gonna bring a storage rack with me. So the best part about the little sweatshop down here is that it is like right next to the motel, meaning you can kind of use the motel as an extension. So we can add lamps in here. There aren't any right off the bat, but we can use this to kind of store our stuff. So move that in there. You can't move the sink, which, I mean, yeah, there's a water hookup. That does make sense, but I wish we could just move it a little bit. So we don't really need the watering can or the clippers or anything, so let's just make room so we can move everything over. We can buy some more shelves tomorrow, or next episode. And I don't really think I'm going to do anything off camera unless it gets really grindy and tedious, like I'm just trying to get to the next thing. So, all in all, I'm able to just go ahead and bring everything with me except for the lamp, and I don't really need the lamp. I like having the floor lamps in the corner, because most of the time you're left over with like one extra peg of space, and it just makes it look nicer. Alright, so now's kind of where we're at. So like I could put a lamp right here and it would be perfect, so I'm gonna go grab it, because I'm usually left with one little spot where I can go ahead and put a lamp up. But I can immediately start growing some stuff, so if I water and plant it and then wake up, that skips a couple hours, because it's 4 and we wake up at 7, meaning I get 3 free hours of sleeping time. So the motel room I can either use as storage, which is fine, or once I unlock the drying racks, I like to go ahead and use that for quality boosting early if I'm doing shrooms. boom, now I can package in a nice little thing. And back here is a nice little spot for, I have a pretty good setup that I can get going. I need to check the hardware store tomorrow and see about, doing the thing. So go ahead and get that up. Go ahead and get this up. And we can hire an employee here once we get the shrooms handled. Like once we get them down and we have them unlocked. But we have to do other stuff early, which is going to be kind of a humongous pain. Like, it's not that bad, but... Okay. So yeah, the value of shrooms comes from the fact that we don't actually have to do anything to grow them. So I'll grab my seeds. We're gonna go talk to Uncle Nelson because, again, we're not using any time while we are just doing this. You've got a decent base of operations and a growing customer base. You'll be pulling in some proper cash now, but you'll need help to manage all your customers. Time to think about recruiting a dealer. There's a guy. Benji Coleman, his name is, I think. He'll be your first dealer that you can work with. You won't be able to hire a dealer until one of their friends have recommended you. Benji is friends with Peggy, Beth, and Ludwig. Focus on selling to them until one of them recommends you. So, all we really have to do is just keep doing what we've been doing and making passive sales. If I see Peggy, Beth, or Ludwig, I'm going to go ahead and just try to sell them outright shroom stuff, because they might like that more. But, before I go to bed, I'm going to plant the seed. But while I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and do my outro. I don't have like a remember to like and subscribe. You can do that crap if you want, but I don't really care. If anything, just comment something funny and I'll laugh at it. But to all of this that finds you, there will be more coming in the near future. Now that I have a computer that can actually sustain recording, you can expect a lot of different games. If you have any recommendations, I'm really into the Stardew Valley and kind of base building type of games. But that being said, I thank you so much all for watching, and I will see you real soon again in the next episode.